have to deal with it. Don't take that drink. And of course, you had to. You did.
Well, I've spoken to a lot of people in the program, and they said if that was the time when you would fall back, that would be it. That would be it. Yeah. So I felt like, okay, there was a reason.
I want to get back to that, but I'd like to talk first about more of the original.
Yes.
For you, were you concerned or worried ever about being typecast? I mean, we didn't see any evidence of that in the tribute, but were you ever concerned that, okay, if I take Sue Ellen and she really takes off, that's all I'm going to be known as being able to do in my career?
Well, frankly, it was very, very challenging after the original show, because if you remember back, there were only 3 networks. There was ABC, CBS, and NBC. And around the world, that was the case. In Italy, they had Canale 5, one channel. So in most of the European countries, there was one channel, and that was it. Now it's, as we know, a whole different thing. But everybody saw us, and the ratings were amazing. The people that watched were incredible. But the thing that happened after that is all of us were very, very recognizable as that character, because all of you wonderful people watched. So it was challenging, because people said, oh no, can't have you work because you're too recognizable as Sue Ellen Ewing. So there was a very long time where I could not get a job. That's the way it is, because of that enormous, wonderful character that I was blessed to play, and I'm still in shock that I'm still playing her after all these years. But for an actor, that was a hard part. That was a lean time. It wasn't devastating, but it was an awareness that as a woman in our industry, you have to create. You can't be bah humbug, be the victim. You have to say, okay, that's the way it is. I have to create something. I have to do something for myself, and I have to be strong and forward and push ahead and make my next move.
And Linda, that's one of the many things that's so remarkable about you, because you're not just an actor, you're also a producer, you're a director. I mean, you get involved in so many different phases. What do those other jobs mean to you?
Well, they were, I think it's always been amazing for me to have that passion. I love what I do. And I think that everybody sitting in this audience tonight, hopefully you have a passion. You have a love for what you want to do in life. And I do, I love it. And I knew, I have a catchphrase that I love in my life. I always say, watch me. And it isn't about watch me, it's like, okay, you guys won't let me get a job because you don't, I'm recognizable as that character, but watch me. Something's going to happen and I'm going to create it. And that's what I did. I asked them on Dallas, I think year 8, the original show. I asked them to direct because I was tired of Sue Ellen drinking and having an affair and having another affair and drinking more and blah, 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 blah. And I was bored, and I think that when an audience sees that you're bored, they can tell. They can tell by the screen that something's wrong. It's not, you're not 100% involved. So I went to them, and I had studied with a French woman director, Lillian Chauvin, who was wonderful. And I said, well, tell me when you think I'm ready to direct. So I studied with her for a long time, and she said, you're ready. So I went to the directors, the producers, and I said, I'd like to direct 1 episode in the next 2-year cycle. And they said, no. And I said, wow, I said, I'm not asking for money. I don't want any money. I just want to direct 1 episode. And we were doing 28 shows during that time. So I wanted to do 1 in the next 2-year cycle. So they said no. And they said, well, don't you want any more money? I said, no, I just want that. So basically, I was fired. At the end of year 8, I was asked not to come back. And it was done nicely, and I said, okay, all right, that's all right. So Larry called me and said, well, I'll see you next season. And I said, I'm not coming back. Sorry, I said, I wanted to direct, and they won't let me, and blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't a victim. I just said, I'll do something else. So Larry said, this is what Mr. Hagman said. He said, I went into the producers and I said, if she doesn't come back, I don't come back. Well, we know Mr. Hagman wouldn't have cared if I came back, really. He wanted to come back. So he did go back for me, which was lovely. And I got to direct one episode. And then they liked it so much that I got to do 4 more.
What